I talk about drugstore and high-end products here on my channel and shared my best of the best drugstore products from 2022 in a recent video. So now it's time for me to share my best high-end makeup from 2022. Now I tried and loved a lot of makeup last year, and these are the high-end makeup products that stand out to me the most. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Now if you don't hear me mention a product that I previously talked about loving, it doesn't mean I don't still love that product. I have to be very cutthroat in these end of year summary videos. And if you're curious about other categories that I share on my channel quite often, like skincare, hair care, jewelry, fashion, lifestyle, home products, stay tuned because I will be having a couple more best of 2022 videos out where I cover my standout favorites from those categories as well. But for now, let's talk about my favorite high-end makeup products, starting with foundation. I do a lot of foundation and concealer reviews for face products because as we get older, it just gets harder to find the right products as our skin starts to change. And I know what works for one person may not work for another. And of course, things are going to depend on your skin type, climate, and things like that. But these three stood out to me the most. The first being the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. I'm in shade 160. This evens out my skin tone and blurs imperfections and pores beautifully. I'll link you to the full review of anything I can as long as my description box will let me. This really adheres to my skin nicely, yet gives me time to blend it out. The key with this is to apply it in very thin layers and only build it where you need. The thinner the better because it does a really great job of covering even with a nice thin layer. It's very natural and skin-like, beautiful and flattering, and gives a soft, radiant finish. I would say it's buildable from light medium to medium full depending on how you apply it, what you apply it with. And I think it's suitable for all skin types. I live in a hot, humid climate and it's worked beautifully for me. It lasts a nice amount of time. This is the foundation that I have on today. Some shine will come through as I'm on camera. I will blot it away, but it doesn't affect the wear, at least not for me on my combination skin that gets oily in the T-zone. And it's never emphasized any texture or any dryness I get on the perimeter of my face. I love this. I think it's beautiful and it mixes well with other foundations too. Another foundation that really made an impression on me last year is the Makeup Forever HD Skin. I just really enjoy wearing this every single time I pull it out. My shade is 2N22. It's a really great match. This does a great job of blurring pores and imperfections, evening out skin tone, and giving medium to medium full coverage while still looking natural and skin-like. It's a great everyday foundation because it applies really quickly, and the finish is natural. It's not radiant, it's not matte, it's just a great natural finish, yet it feels hydrating and comfortable. It's a great any occasion foundation that lasts well throughout the day, and it's great for all skin types, including mature skin. I'm 47 years old, so that's something I'm always looking out for. I was just really impressed with this last year, and it pretty much lives on my makeup table so that I can reach for it anytime. My third foundation I discovered late in the year. I will link the video where you can see me apply it and a couple of other products that are showing up later in the video because I have used this so much since I discovered it. It is one of the most skin-like foundations I have ever tried, if not the most skin-like. And even though it has the lightest coverage of this bunch, it still just airbrushes and makes your skin look so beautiful. This is the Chantecaille Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation. My shade is Vanilla. So this is a sheer to light coverage formula that applies extremely easily using any method, really. It just melts into your skin and evens everything out, even though it's light coverage. It's great for mature skin. I had heard for years how good this was and just never tried it, and now I'm kicking myself for waiting so long. It is a luxury foundation, but you need so little. It's going to last you a long time. I don't typically get along with foundations that are in jars for some reason. They're usually heavy or oily or slip off my face. Not this one. It smooths pores and lasts all day and just looks beautiful. It's also really nice if you're wanting to just even out your skin before you put on powder foundation, or if you just want a light coverage foundation that feels comfortable if you have mature skin. I would say this is also great for any skin type, dry, oily, and of course mature, as I just said. It's just so beautiful, and it made such an impression on me in 2022, even though I was late to the game discovering it. These are all products that either launched in 2022 or I discovered them in 2022. Like this one. I have dry under eyes with fine lines, and it's hard to find good under eye correcting and concealing products that also cover really well when you also have dark circles. I talk about that all the time here on my channel. So I am sharing the one corrector that I wore the most in 2022. Many of you already know what that is, especially if you saw my 20 most used Sephora products from 2022. I'll have that video linked below and up in a card. It is the Bobbi Brown Stick Corrector in Bisque, which I already have a backup of because this is all I have left. This is so creamy. I just dab a thin layer right where my darkness is under my eyes, no further. That thin layer just helps correct the actual discoloration, kind of the opposite on the color wheel type thing, before I go in with my concealer to conceal those dark circles. This is so much creamier than her concealer in the pot. If you've tried that one was too drying for me. It just emphasized everything I didn't want to be emphasized. I tried and found some other great correctors in 2022 that I shared in my monthly favorites, but when it comes down to it, this is the one that I use the most. I will link my monthly favorites playlist, which has all 12 of my monthly favorites in it, down below in my description box. Hit the word more or show more down below the title of the video, and my description box will pop up either below the video or next to the video, depending on the device you're on. I'll also put it up in the corner so you can catch that after you watch this if you want to see other products that I love throughout the year that just aren't in this summary. But this is my standout corrector for 2022 that I did already mention in another video, but you know, it had to be mentioned twice. I use it that much. So I'm moving from one corrector to several concealers. Like I said earlier, I try a lot of foundations, a lot of concealers, and all of these have different properties that I think could work for different occasions. People with different levels of discoloration, different things going on under the eye. So I'm going to run through them pretty quickly. The first one is the Kulfi Main Match Concealer. The shade that I have is Ice Ice Berry. This one has the lightest coverage with skin-like medium coverage. So for me, it's not quite enough coverage unless I'm doing something very, very casually, but it's very skin-like, very natural, extremely lightweight, and very hydrating. It's a very flattering concealer and great for those of you who have light to moderate dark circles. Next up, we have the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. Now, I typically apply my concealers with the warmth of my finger. I just like to blend them out this way. But with this one, I needed to use a sponge to thin it out a little bit, to have it just be extremely flattering the way it should be. When I apply it that way, it gives a beautiful, soft, matte, skin-like finish that I can build from medium to medium full coverage. It's hydrating, and I would say in terms of creaminess, this is the third most creamy that I'm mentioning here today. This is a very nice, very flattering concealer once you kind of figure out your way, your preferred method of applying it. The shade that I am in is Cotton Candy. Then we have the Milk Makeup Future Fluid, which is very fingerprinty, but hey, I use it. This is the second most creamy when it comes to blending it out. It looks very natural, flattering, and smoothing. I find it to be hydrating, and it lasts really well all day. And I would say that this also gives medium to medium full coverage depending on how you apply it. I like to apply it with my fingers, with the warmth of my fingers. The shade that I am in is 8C. Maybe I should look at the shade before I actually hold the product up. Okay, so the creamiest of this medium to full, medium full bunch is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. It took me, what, 5 tries to find my correct shade, and I landed at 4.5. It's still a little bit light, but I don't really mind if I'm going for a full makeup look. It works, but you know, it took me some time to get here. The most radiant of this bunch, which can be good good or it cannot be good. I personally don't have an issue with the radiance, the luminosity that this has. It's meant to be flattering. It's almost like it has a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter mixed in maybe. It's not really a glitter as much as it is a luminosity, which is meant to flatter. But some people are going to find that it can emphasize or enhance, hollowed areas or texture if they're not careful because of the reflectivity. I do set my under eyes with powder, and so I think that it diffuses that a little bit. I don't have an issue with it. I find it to be comfortable and flattering. It kind of stretches with my under eye area. I think this is a really nice concealer. But concealers, just like foundations and primers and powders, they're very individual to the user. I really love all four of these for different reasons. As we get a little bit older, our skin starts to lose elasticity and get a little bit more textured. And so foundations just don't always sit the same. They don't always wear the same. So you may be someone who never considered primer, or that thinks that foundation, if it's good, should just wear well without one, and that may just not be the case anymore. You may want to start considering using a primer. So I have 3 here that I wanted to share that really stood out to me. I was trying to narrow it down to 1, but these all just, I don't know, I needed to include them. So this first one is Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. This is a new launch from them in 2022. So this is good, I think, for all skin types. If you maybe tried their Hourglass Veil, which is a personal favorite of mine, but there are some people that found it a little bit drying, this may be where you want to go. This sinks in like a lotion with a pea-size amount. That's all you ever need of a primer. It blurs pores and it takes away shine in your T-zone and gives a soft matte finish to basically any foundation, and of course helps it wear better throughout the day. This is a really great one that just sinks into our skin to give that really nice natural soft matte finish that's flattering, and it kind of softens the texture as well. I really enjoyed this in 2022, and you can see that lotiony texture on the back of my hand here compared to the other 2 primers that I'm going to talk about, which I also like. Next up, we have another primer that was raved about in 2022, just like the Hourglass one that I just shared. This is the Cali Ray So Blown Clean Blurring Primer. This is another one that I think is great for all skin types. On the back, it says it's a plumping hydrator, pore eraser, oil controller, makeup replacer. Now, I disagree with the makeup replacer because, as you can see on the back of my hand, this isn't tinted. I don't think it evens out any redness or anything if you have that, but it does do the other things. It hydrates, it erases pores, it controls oil. Now, I don't think it keeps me quite as matte as long during the day as this does, but it really does keep my makeup on nicely. It wears well under, pretty much every foundation I've tried. But, I feel like as far as being great from, dry skin all the way to super oily, this probably gives you that, whereas this is probably great for a combination oily to dry. At least in my experience, in my extreme humidity, that's what I get. I think these are both great for perfecting, evening out the skin while helping your foundation stay on longer. Now, if you're someone who likes that blurring and smoothing and shine control, but needs a little bit more shine control in your T-zone or all over, maybe you're on the more normal to oily side and you like some skincare benefits, the Milk Makeup, what is the official name of this? Milk Makeup Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer is a beautiful mattifying primer that does all of those things, and it's going to keep you matte a little bit longer. It also sinks in like a lotion, like the other 2 primers. You can't feel any of these on your skin. That's another reason why I really like them. I think in different ways, they're all really great for mature skin. Primers have come a long way from that silicone heavy feel. These are really nice. They stood out to me in 2022. I also had a setting spray that stood out to me in 2022. This is the MAC Fix Plus Stay Over alcohol-free setting spray. So this is different than the regular MAC Fix Plus that we've known and loved for many, many years. This is actually designed to be a long-lasting setting spray to hold your makeup on longer, but it also kind of melds everything together the way the original Matte Fix Plus did. It kind of does everything all in one, but it helps your makeup last. I love it. It's not sticky. The spray is really nice too. Now the regular Fix Plus hasn't gone away. It just kind of helps mesh everything together that kind of thing. This does that, but locks everything in too. And it's a great alcohol-free option. A lot of setting sprays have alcohol in them and can really dry your skin out. This is a great option. The face powder that I'm going to share as being the powder that stands out to me the most in 2022 is one that's probably in a lot of people's videos, but it's really good. This is the Givenchy Prism Libre Matte Finish and Enhanced Radiance Loose Powder. I have shade 3. I don't know why I just flipped it upside down like that, but anyway, you have 4 shades here that you dispense into the lid lightly. Mine did not come out lightly just then. I have a lot in here. You can set your face with this. You can use it as a finishing powder, and it's just so beautiful. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell I did anything just then because I've been kind of blotting and touching up throughout filming today, but it really does give a matte radiance to the skin, which doesn't seem to make any sense, but it kind of mattifies your shiny areas while giving you a soft luminosity at the same time. And then you have these color correcting shades in here that brighten and flatter as well. It's just a beautiful powder. I'm so interested in the other tones that they have, but right now I just have the one and I love it. I think this is a great powder. I've set my face with it. I've used it as a finishing powder and it's just gorgeous. There's a reason why people rave about this powder. My container's kind of messy. I don't care. This lives on my vanity and will continue to do so well into 2023. Blush is a weakness of mine, so I surprised myself by being able to narrow it down to 3 powders and 3 creams. I know that's 6 total. That's still excessive, but I loved a lot of blushes this year. I love blush. So I'm going to start with what's on my cheeks now and has been throughout this video. This is Gucci Silky Rose. This is the only shade I have in this formula, and I've been saying I need to get more, but then new blushes kept launching and I haven't yet, but I intend to. This has some peach to it. It's not just a rose. I love this shade. I love the formula. It's beautiful. It's silky. It wears all day. It's flattering and buildable and foolproof. It kind of diffuses as it applies. There's a reason why so many people have just fallen in love with this luxury blush formula. I don't think it matters what shade you get. I think it's a formula you will love. This next one is one I discovered late in the year, but it's a quick favorite that I'm sorry I didn't try much earlier when they launched. And a large reason is because they sold out very quickly. So this is the RMS Beauty in French Rosé. I wore this in a recent video and I just shared how blown away I was by this formula. Yes, there is sheen in this blush, which a lot of people shy away from. It is flattering. It doesn't emphasize anything you don't want it to. It's like a blush and a luminous highlighter, a flattering one, all mixed into one. So I have all the blushes swatched on the back of my hand. We have the RMS French Rosé swatched on the top, and you can see just how beautiful that is. And then this is the Gucci Silky Rose. These are 1-finger swatches, by the way. And what we have in the middle here and right here next to it are the same shade, different formulas. That's why I saved this one for last. And many of you are gonna know what it is. It is the Persona Super Blush in the shade Bubble. So this formula has been out, I think since 2021, this blush itself, but the shade launched in 2022 and it is so beautiful. It looks kind of scary, this kind of neon bubblegum pink, but it is so flattering for a natural, everyday, kind of no makeup flush shade. This is the powder form and this is the multi-stick right here. So they look a little bit different from each other right here, but you can see on the back of the hand, they're very similar and I love both formulas. This is very flattering. It's great for mature skin. It's another formula that wears all day. It diffuses everything and the stick formula applies beautifully, again, lasts all day and just blends out beautifully. So while I'm on this subject, I'm going to go ahead and mention the other shade that she launched recently in the fall fall called Jam. You know, there's that cold girl makeup look that's out where you do a really, really flushed look to your cheeks and your nose and all of that. This will give you that look very, very easily. Keep in mind, these aren't blended out. It just blends out so beautifully. I guess I could kind of do that right here. I only have limited space, so it's only going to blend out so far, but you know, it looks scary when it's first down, but it blends out to this beautiful shade. I just love it. There are two other shades in the line too. One is a red and one is more of kind of a suntan shade. The formula is just so nice. So now we have one of my favorite liquid or cream blush formulas, maybe of all time, not even of 2022. This is the Tarte Maneater Blush and Glow Cheek Plump. Cheek Plump. I had pink originally and used and loved it so much. I gifted it to people over the holidays. I love it. I ended up getting it in peachy pink as well. So I do have both of those swatched here. So here we have pink and here we have peachy pink. I love both shades. You know, typically when it comes to creams or liquids, I will apply them to the back of my hand, dip a brush in it, and then apply it to my cheek to blend it out. Sometimes I'll do that with a sponge instead of a brush. This is a product that I can apply directly to my cheek and blend it out, and it just blends out beautifully. It never applies patchy, it never blends away, and it does give a glow and a blush, just like the name suggests, blush and glow. It's so flattering. I would say if you're someone who's a fan of the Charlotte Tilbury product, Pinkgasm, that you would love these probably even more. I do believe this has gone viral as well, as it should. These are great. Have I said that? They're great. And finally, we have Chanel's new launch from 2022, the Le Beige Water Fresh Blush. These were kind of confusing, I think, at first because they're more of a sheer product. Man, are they beautiful. You can apply them with your fingers, really with anything, just the same as all of these other products. I'm just blending this out a little bit more with my finger. The shade that I have is warm pink. These just look beautiful. They really give a beautiful no makeup look, yet there's something there. They look like expensive makeup. I don't know if that's possible, but they really do, and I do feel like this product is going to last forever. There's a whole Water Fresh line now, but I do feel like that's an appropriate name because they do have just kind of a fresh, sheer look. This is beautiful. It feels beautiful, and I think that all of these products are great for all skin types. I didn't just narrow bronzer down to a powder and a cream. I narrowed it down to just one bronzer, and that is the Merit Bronze Balm. I have raved about this since it launched. I love the oval shape. There's something about the way it just conforms to the different areas of your face. It really is just the perfect shape. I don't know why someone hasn't thought of doing an oval shaped cream bronzer before, but it's perfect. The formula is also really beautiful. It glides on and blends out beautifully, and it's a sheer formula, which you almost think wouldn't be great. It would just blend away, but it blends into your skin so that it looks so natural, whether it's over your skin, over foundation, or over powder. So the shade that I have is Cyan. I believe that's how you say that, and here it is swatched full out. It dries down to a beautiful natural finish. It lasts all day. I love this bronzer. It's my standout bronzer from last year. I don't know how long this highlighter is going to be around. I think it's limited edition, but I had to mention it because it's made such a huge impression on me. I loved it the moment I tried it, and I almost didn't try it because I thought it looked kind of lackluster in the pan. This is the Chantecaille Lotus Radiance highlighter. So when you first look at it, you really don't even see much of a radiance in the pan. It's got this kind of peachy pink look to it. I discovered that this is a great highlighter for those of us that don't like a beaming from outer space highlighter, those of us with mature skin who are maybe a little highlighter averse, but that want something that is going to emphasize good things. I mean, it's just beautiful, and it looks great on the top of the cheekbones, on the inner corner, the brow bone. It even works on the tip of the nose, on the upper lip, or above the upper lip, I guess I should say. It's just stunningly beautiful, and I will say I have used it almost daily since I first used it that first time, once I realized, oh, this is what this looks like. It is So beautiful, so flattering. It's the perfect mature skin highlighter. And I do hope that if this is limited edition for Chantecaille, that they come out with some kind of a permanent similar type of highlighter, because this could be the highlighter that people have been looking for if they have not enjoyed highlighter in the past. Every time I come on here and I share my top favorite eyeshadow palettes with you, I always preface it by saying they're kind of boring, safe choices, but I feel like there are a lot of people here that are with me that really like good neutral palettes that you can wear every day. So I hope that you appreciate these choices. The premise of my entire channel is everyday beauty made easy, and I talk to a lot of you that are over 40, close to 50 like me, and you're just not out there wearing crazy colors every single day. Although we do play with it, it's just more practical to have neutral colors. This has probably been out there longer than 2022, but I discovered it in 2022. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes palette. I love this. I reach for this quite often. It's a great all-encompassing nude palette. I can get an elaborate, smoky nighttime eye look. It has a shade for me to line with, mid-tone shades, all types of shimmers. It also has a shade for me to highlight my brow bone with. It's got everything I need for an entire eye look. I can also do one and done eye looks with any of the shimmers. It's just easy and versatile. It's also slim if I want to travel with it, and it has the nice long mirror, which I appreciate. And I find that it's very easy to work with. The shades are nice and blendable, and you know, all the adjectives that we love to hear when we talk about eyeshadow palettes. So my tiny eyeshadow palette that I've reached for a ton. I brought it to travel, and I actually rebought it when I lost it in our move because I love it that much, is the Natasha Denona Mini Biba palette. I actually use this more than I do the Mini Nude, even though I like that one too. But for some reason, this one just does it for me as a great nude palette. I can use this for, again, a one and done look. I can just line with it and do a neutral on my lids, or I can do a more elaborate look. It's a tiny palette that gives me a big bang for my buck. I quite often will line with this dark shade here and then kind of enhance that line with this shade and either leave my lid completely bare with just primer on it, or use this in my crease and transition, and use this on my brow bone and in my inner corner. It's small, it's easy, it's portable, it travels well, and it's easy and quick to reach for every day. My last one probably should have been in my drugstore video, but I forgot to put it in there, and so I'm just gonna mention it here. This is ColourPop Gone Matte. You get a lot for your money with this palette, and this is actually my second one of these because I gave my first one away, so that's why it's so clean. This lives on my vanity. I reach for this for complete looks and just to pull shades from. Quality is great, blends out easily, it wears all day. I have so many liner shades to choose from because I frequently use eyeshadow to line with. And of course, the variety here is great, but this is a great matte eyeshadow palette. If you're wanting to pull shades from or just get an entire eye look, I've really enjoyed it and have used it a ton. Moving on to some other eye products that don't really fall in the eyeshadow palette category. So this is an eyeshadow duo that I fell in love with. It's what's on my eyelids today. I'm hoping it's reflecting on camera the way it does in person. This is the Chantecaille Le Chrome Luxe eyeshadow duo in the shade Tibet. It is just stunning. I swipe it on with a finger. I actually just kind of went between the two shades today, and I use this as a one and done quite often. Sometimes when I'm a little bit dressier, sometimes when I'm casual. It doesn't really matter. It's kind of perfect for any situation. So here are the two shades when they're just swatched separately, and on my eyes, they're mixed together. I love it. I have found it to be so useful. You know, Chantecaille is a luxury brand, but there are a few products that I have gotten such use out of. It's been completely worth the money. I get why people rave about the products they rave about now that I've tried them. So my next one is the mascara that I have on. I have basically invisible straight lashes when I don't have mascara on. This is a mascara that really works well for me. This is the Tarte Tartelette Tubing Mascara. It lasts all day, it doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge, It doesn't irritate my eyes. And there have been occasions where people have asked me what mascara I've had on because it just always looks good. I sometimes do need to comb it out because before I do that, it can kind of clump a little bit. But after I comb it, it's like it releases it. It makes my lashes look so full and long. It's got this conical shaped wand and, you know, it's a tubing formula, so it removes very easily. This is my standout mascara from 2022. I will definitely be repurchasing this. I think it's a fantastic formula. Tarte has had some hits for me over the past year, so we'll have to see if 2023 is the same way. I discovered a new favorite brow pencil in 2022. My brows are very sparse and very uneven, and it seems like it's just getting worse as the years go on. What do they say, that brows are cousins, not twins, or sisters, not twins, whatever it is? Mine are more like distant cousins who live on a different continent that have never met before. They are so uneven from one another. So this is the IT Brow Power Micro in Universal Taupe. This is another one of those very fine, small dash-shaped pencils that gives you a more precise stroke than a round fine pencil. So I started making little marks and then decided I was going to try and do it here on camera so you could see it. I don't know if you could see that or not, or if it's blurry. Maybe that helped. I don't know. Here is the shade a little bit darker and then the fine strokes. So it just gives you that precision and that quickness that a round fine pencil doesn't give you. And then of course there's the spoolie on the end. Now the pencil that I loved before was the same size, the same shape. It was from Hourglass. It was the Micro Arch, or the Arch Micro pencil. I find I have to press a little bit less with this, and the shade is just a little bit better for me with the IT Brow Power Micro. So if for some reason you try this and the shade doesn't work for you, you may want to try the Hourglass product. I'll have that listed and linked down below as an alternative, because maybe there's a shade for you. It is a great product too. I just like this a little bit better, and I'm glad that they launched this. After swatching all three lip liners on the back of my hand, I realized they range in shade from nude beige up to a nude cooler, soft nude pink as you go up. So I'm going to start at the bottom with Huda Beauty Honey Beige that I discovered in 2022. I love this shade for a nude beige or any nude, even peachy beige lipsticks that I'm wearing. This is a twist up pencil. There's no sharpener or anything as far as I know that works with this. You just twist it up and apply it. So it's not very pointy, but I've never had a problem getting a precise line around my lips. It's also very, very creamy, as you could see just then. Love the opacity. As you can see, they all three have great opacity. They're very creamy. They wear well all day, all of them, and are flattering if you have lip lines that you want to kind of smooth out. So I just want to get that out of the way for all of them. Next up is Natasha Denona I Need a Nude in My Dream. So that's what's in the middle here. Again, this is super creamy. This is a pencil that does sharpen. It's a beautiful neutral pink lip liner that works beautifully with other neutral pink shades, pink browns, even some cool shades that I'll be mentioning here in a minute. And the last one is Makeup by Mario Smoky Pink. You've heard me talk about all of these here on my channel before. This one is creamy. It's probably the least creamy out of all of them, but it's still very creamy and, you know, does all the things that I said before. This is just a beautiful My Lips but better shade if I apply it with a very light hand. So if I'm doing a no makeup look or a natural look, because my lip line is kind of fading and uneven, I will sometimes just fill it in with this and it works beautifully. My original favorite shade from Makeup by Mario is Hue, but I don't know what's going on with Makeup by Mario, but he is not restocking these shades, or else he's taking forever. And so I almost hesitated even putting this in this video. I almost want to say, if you're gonna get a lip liner from him, get it when you can, because it could be gone tomorrow, never to return. I don't know what's happening. The first lipstick that just blew me away in 2022, well, not the first, but one of the two that I'm mentioning in this video that stood out to me enough to be in this video, is Natasha Denona I Need a Nude in my dream. Now, from what I understand, this formula is a lot creamier and more hydrating and nourishing than her other I Need a Nude lipsticks. I don't know why that is, but I do know I love it. So that is the top swatch right here. It's just a beautiful pinky nude cut with a bit of beige, so it's not so pinky. It is the shade that I've been wearing throughout this video, and I applied it over Huda Beauty Honey Beige Liner just to mix it up a little bit, but I've worn it in plenty of videos over its own liner, the My Dream liner with the gloss, which I'll be showing you here in a minute. The other lipstick is Merit Signature Lipstick in the shade Baby. That is what's swatched right here. This formula is also very nourishing, very hydrating as well. It's got ingredients that help treat. I would say it's a thinner formula that almost kind of melts into your lips, but it's still really flattering. I feel like you can almost even see it's a little bit less creamy and has some slip to it, but it doesn't fade or wear away. There's something magical about this formula that just wears so well. It's flattering. It's a little less creamy than a typical creamy lipstick, but it's hydrating. It's just beautiful. I definitely want more shades in this formula. I love it. And speaking of nourishing and hydrating and flattering lips, let's move on to balms and glosses, of which I have a few that blew me away in 2022. Since I already talked about Natasha Denona My Dream, I'm just going to go ahead and mention the gloss here. And why don't I turn it around the right way? It is so beautiful. It is right here on my hand, and I feel like you can see the radiance it's got to it. So I'll just go ahead and put this on so you can see what it adds to the already creamy look of the Natasha Denona My Dream lipstick. It's not sticky, it's not goopy, it's a very flattering look, and the color is just beautiful. I've had so many comments from people with different skin tones saying how much they love the entire My Dream lip line. I almost didn't buy any of these, and I'm so glad I did because I reach for these a lot, all of them, the liner, the lipstick, and the gloss. I love it. It's nourishing, hydrating, flattering. I feel like I'm going to say that about all of these products, but that's what I look for. When I look for lip products, I want them to be all of those things and more. Now, because I've already shared these Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip and Juicy Lip Plumps so many times on my channel throughout 2022, I am not going to beat that into the ground again in this video. All I can say is that if you have not tried either one of these, you need to. These are among my favorite products of any category that I tried in the past year. I see people pulling these out of their purse and putting them on just here and there, and it makes my heart sing because I realize I'm not alone with how much I love these. I have talked to friends about them that I've just randomly seen pull them out of their purse, and we've just raved about how much we love them and why. I'm not going to get into specific shades because honestly, you can get any shade. If you want a little bit more opacity, some plumpness, fullness, a little bit more, and you like a little bit of a minty feeling to your lip products, but not a stinging, then go for the Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. Otherwise, the other one is still super flattering, and I think they plump a little bit too, although maybe not as much as these. So I just swatched Grapefruit, the regular formula, and Primrose, the plumping formula, just so you could kind of see the difference in opacity. The plumping formula is a little bit thicker. They're juicy, like the name says. They treat your lips while they hydrate. You know, you can't go all in and just swipe this on because it's a softer formula. You have to kind of be a little bit light-handed. They just feel so good, kind of balm-like, almost like a lip mask, while giving your lips a beautiful tint. I cannot rave enough about these. Can you tell? Now, if you've tried that Tarte Maracuja lip product I just showed and you liked it, or if you haven't tried it because you don't like the click up pen applicator, this Makeup by Mario product is a product I think you will like. It's got a very similar kind of soft balm formula, but it's a twist up. This is the Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum. It still kind of clicks when you twist it up, if you can hear that. It's also a little bit more sheer, but it still has pigment. The shade I have is Bronze Glow. This is a hydrating glossy balm. It's also a plumping product. It's got kind of a minty feel to it, but it doesn't stain. And it has a really shiny finish, and it's got a lot of good ingredients in it. Shea butter, avocado oil, refined kiwi oil, argan oil, and it's meant to nourish, hydrate, and condition your lips while giving them a tint. It feels really good. This actually impressed me more than I thought it would. I reach for it a lot. This ends up thrown in my purse. This is another product I definitely want more shades of, and it stood out to me in 2022. I picked up 2 of the Lanolips tinted lip balms, one for me, one for my 17-year-old Brooke, as I was walking to the Ulta checkout. On a whim, I had no idea how much I was going to love this product. So this is 70% lanolin, which, what does it hold up to 200% of its weight in moisture to provide rich hydration. First of all, the shade that I have is Perfect Nude, and this is a really, really nice shade. And you just apply it with the slanted applicator. It's very easy, and it's a great tinted lip balm formula. It's really great for cold weather. I would say this is more of a straight up lip balm type formula that stays on your lips a decent amount of time. It provides a really beautiful tint. I wish they would come out with more shades. I just didn't know how much I was gonna like this. It stands out to me. I keep this in my purse, so I always have it in case my lips just happen to feel chapped. I'm so glad I tried this. This is kind of a rescue type lip treatment that's also flattering because it has a tint. To ensure you haven't missed any of my best of 2022 videos I've done so far, I have them linked here on the screen as well as down in my description box. I hope you found this helpful and enjoyable. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.